It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachawadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. MasterCard introduces controversial biometric payments that require a face scan. So this is going to become the new future of making payments, and right now is in the introduction stages, but don't be surprised if they made it mandatory right away. And while all this is going on, the so-called Israelis is talking about declaring an all-out war against Iran over the fact that the president of the so-called Israelis said that they can no longer wait to find out rather if the Iranians are using uranium to develop nuclear bombs. So now you start to see how all the prophecies of the Holy Scriptures are coming together. Okay, the MOTV, the Charagma, because ultimately, and let me tell you something, MasterCard owns a lot of electronical card payments. And as a matter of fact, a lot of you people, you deal with PayPal, correct? Well, PayPal is actually tied to debit and MasterCards. Certain pay cards like Wisely Pay deals with Visa, but Visa is also moving towards biometric payments. You see, the Emerald card, the Emerald card is how a lot of people get their tax returns. Like when they go to file for the taxes. When they go to file for the taxes and they get their money back, if they don't want to get their money back via a check, they get their money back through a electronic payment system known as the Emerald card, which is both debit and also MasterCard. Okay, I actually have one of those for when I go to file for taxes. And then there is PayPal. PayPal has what is called a business debit card, which also is tied to MasterCard. And then, of course, there is the Master credit card system. So MasterCard, which is the owner over a lot of electronic card companies, is going biometrics. And ultimately, this will lead to the Charagma. Okay, this will lead to the Charagma. So it says, amid privacy concerns, payment giant MasterCard is rolling out the controversial biometric payment systems, allowing users to pay with the wave of a hand or a smile at the camera. Okay? And you know what else has ties to biometrics? The Charagma. The Charagma has ties to biometrics. And for those who don't know what the Charagma is the Greek way of saying Mark in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And a matter of fact, let's just go there. Okay? Because we're not making this stuff up, man. This is in the Bible. This is in the Holy Scriptures. Okay? And this message is really aimed at our people, the Israelites, which are you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. You are the true biblical Israelites. So this video is really for you, and it's really important you hear this message, okay? So here it is. The word mark, right? Then we're just going to click on this. And what you get? You get charagma, which is the Greek way of saying mark for Revelation 13 verse 16. Okay? And what do you see here? An imprinted mark, a stamp. The mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, sculptured, a graven work. And that's exactly what that charagma is, man. Okay? That charagma is a engraven image. It is a thing sculptured. And you know, it's beautiful because the brother Yashawamba was going into it. That's what artificers, artificers are known for, sculpting or making graven images out of something. Rather if it be stone, wood, gold, silver, plastic, metal, aluminum. It says the payments giants said it's rolling out the biometrics checkout programs to speed up checkout time and reduce queues. And we've said this plenty of times. They're going to make the charagma seem very convenient by saying that by people having the charagma, all they have to do is all they have to do is wave their hand over the sensor, and boom, they could be out of the lines just like that. Now, back in the early 1900s, back in the late 1900s, going into the early year 2000, right? There was no such thing as credit cards. There was no such thing as payment cards. There was no such thing as debit cards. Okay? But I'll tell you what existed. Cash, coins. And let me tell you something. When there used to be long lines, people used to literally wait in line for 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes 20 to 25 minutes. Those lines were so long. You know why? Because when cashiers would cash out their customers, first they had to type in the code to the cashier. Then the cashier would have to register the code, and then the cashier would open, and then the customer would hand the cash to the cashier. The cashier would count the cash to make sure that it was the right amount, or that it was enough that was given to them. And then they will put the cash in its respectable, corresponding slot. If it was a $20 bill, you would take the $20 bill and you would put it in the $20 slot. And vice versa as well for the $10 bill, the $5 bill, and the $1 bill. Same thing with the coins. If they gave you a quarter, you would take the quarter and you would put it in the quarter slot. And same thing with the nickel, the dime, and the penny. And then that's not it, right? That's not it. Now they had to figure out how much change they had to give back to their customer. And let me remind you that they had to do this for every customer on the line. So, you know what happened? And this was the start of them. This was really the beginning of them pushing the charagma. Because then that's when they came out with credit cards. And let me tell you something. When credit cards first came out, it was so popular that millions, I'm talking tens of millions of people here in America went to go get one. Because a credit card seemed so convenient, considering the fact that all they had to do was simply swipe their card and it would register into the system, and just like that, they were done. They could just move on. And lines started going by so quickly because of these credit cards that almost everybody who was wealthy went and got one. So long lines no longer took 10 to 15 minutes or 20 to 25 minutes. The longest somebody would stand in a long line would be about 5 to 10 minutes at most. Or not even, maybe 5 to 8 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, 4 to 7 minutes, because lines was just going by quickly. It just depended on how many items they had, because the cashier would have to scan all the items. So now what we're seeing here is that they want to put a charagma inside you, under the guise of, well, we don't want people to lose their information, their private information. We heard about people whose their credit cards have been hacked into and people have been using their money to make purchases. Well, with this charagma, implantable device, right? You can not only make purchases, not only will your financial history, not only will your medical history be on the charagma, but all of your currency, your transaction, your past transactions will be on the charagma. So that's what they're moving towards. It's no longer going to be on a card. It's going to be on a implantable device, which they can put inside your body, which is the charagma. Okay, and the reason why we say charagmas is because we have to speak in code. Because nowadays, if you say the R word, the RF word, well, they gonna take your channel down. They gonna take your video down. So it says, it also claims that biometric systems are more secure and hygienic than debit and credit cards. Once enrolled, there is no need to slow down the checkout queue searching through their pockets or bags. It says, MasterCard said while introducing the controversial tech, consumers could simply check the bill and smile into a camera or wave their hand over a reader to pay. Notice how they say wave their hand over a reader to pay. So we know where all this is leading. They want to put a charagma in your right hand or in your forehead. MasterCard will begin testing its biometric checkout systems in Brazil at 5 St. March stores in the city, Sao Paulo. Interested users can register their biometrics via an app or in a store through MasterCard partner PayFace. A spokesperson said that it will soon roll out the biometric checkout system in the UK and is also focusing on markets in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And he, the so-called elites, cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save or except he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay, the Lamb, which is Yahweh, and 144,000 on Mount Zion. And here it says, doom for worshippers of the beast, because anybody who has that charagma in them will be considered a worshipper of the beast. which the beast is talking about the beast system. You're a worshiper of this beast system. So you're going to be destroyed. Your judgment is going to be death by intercontinental ballistic nuclear fire. Because during World War III, this country is going to be destroyed in intercontinental ballistic nuclear fire. Revelation 14 verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying, and the number 3 is not only the number of destruction, but the number of understanding. So the number 3 is the number of destruction, but also the number of understanding. So the third angel, which is the angel, the messenger of destruction, which is relaying the message concerning the destruction of Babylon, followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, the wrath of the Heavenly Father and the Son, is going to come via those intercontinental ballistic nuclear missiles. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. You see? So, if you have that charagma, your judgment is going to be death by that nuclear fire, man. And it's going to be a very slow, excruciating, painful death. Because you're going to literally feel your skin melting off of you, your eyes melting, your tongue melting inside of you, your teeth is good, because you know how badly teeth can hurt, especially when you take heat to it. So your teeth is going to be feeling that heat, your fingernails is going to be feeling that heat, and then after your skin melts off your flesh, your clothes is going to be on fire, your hair is going to be on fire. The skin on your hands and feet is going to melt. And then your flesh underneath your skin is going to start to melt once your skin is gone. And it's going to be a long, painful death, man. So you don't want to be caught in that nuclear destruction. So with that, I'm going to say, Shalom. So in other words, do not take the charagma. With that, I'm going to say, Shalom is on to the next one.